Commissioner, you want to explain why I wasn't notified about your new evidence?
You told me to leave Heather Weber's case alone, and I didn't.
I don't believe it. We found Lulu a match.
She's crashing.
What are you doing here?
The tangled web of hospital dramas. Right. What kind of hospital goes to extreme lengths to find a liver for a terminally ill, comatose patient? Seems like an unnecessary miracle. And can we just take a moment to appreciate the fact that Martin has dropped that ridiculous accent? Took long enough. As for Portia, wow, talk about a mess. She compromised her integrity, her marriage, and her job for nothing. Heather's doing just fine in her rehabilitated state, posing no threat to anyone. Portia needs to back off for both their sakes. But hey, at least we're getting Lulu back on screen. Poor thing's probably tired of playing Sleeping Beauty. Here's hoping she and Dante can rekindle their spark. Oh, and fingers crossed for Jordan and Curtis too. Portia? Yeah, she can exit stage left. And what's this about Brandon's mom showing up at Sasha's door? Drama alert. Who's the perfect liver match? My money's on Cyrus. He's always lurking around, isn't he? Also, Carly and Jack? Love them. But Sam being killed off? No thanks. It's always amusing how Portia and Anna act all righteous, yet bend the rules when it's convenient. At least Tracy's showing her softer side. And thank goodness Drew and Willow have been off the radar for a bit. It has to be Sam. It's the only thing that makes sense. I'm really looking forward to those Alexis and Laura scenes. Feels like a nostalgic nod to the old Bobby and Felicia days during the Maxie or BJ storyline. Oh, and by the way, Lulu has another brother, Holly and Luke's son, Ethan. Why hasn't anyone thought to test him? Or better yet, why didn't Holly call Ethan up and get him involved? So many questions and an exciting week ahead, indeed. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The perfect escape from reality, where everyone's tangled in drama, and the plot twists just keep coming. Portia should definitely take an extended vacation and maybe forget her way back. Some of these storylines are good, but wow, can we please pick up the pace? Less talking, more action, please. Wouldn't it be wild if Jack Brennan turned out to be the match for Lulu? Carly would be thrilled to owe him for that. Another reason for her to stay connected to him. The drama would be endless. But my money's still on Sam being Lulu's match. It would make sense, right? And then Sasha. What's going on with her? Whoever's knocking on her door better bring a new storyline with them. I still think it's Brandon's mom, or knowing the show, maybe even someone more unexpected. As for Portia, it's about time she faces some consequences for all the scheming she's done. When the truth comes out about her tampering with Heather's blood work, she'll be in serious trouble. I can totally see her trying to blame Brad, but you know he's smart enough to figure it out and use it against her. And once Curtis finds out, yeah, that marriage is definitely done for. And let's not forget those DNA results. Portia tampering with them to make it seem like Curtis is Trina's father when it's really Taggart. It's only a matter of time before that bomb drops. Oh, and Sonny? The man's made of Teflon, never held accountable for anything. I wouldn't be surprised if someone else takes the fall for Jagger's death. Maybe they'll throw in some mystery character to sweep it all under the rug. Sam being the match and then not surviving the surgery. Wow, that would be dark, but totally something the show might pull off. I'm not thrilled about her leaving either, but that would be one dramatic exit. And as for Sasha's mystery visitor, Gladys, could be. With this show, you never know who's going to pop up next. Buckle up for another roller coaster week. It looks like everything is heating up with that gun. Dan definitely needs to spill the beans to Sonny about it. It's only a matter of time before that secret comes out. And Curtis? Yeah, he's clearly not thrilled with Portia these days. And honestly, who can blame him? The mystery of Lulu's match is still hanging in the air. And with the Quartermains always full of surprises, I can't wait to see who shows up there next. Talk about a house where drama just walks through the front door. I get it. Sonny's always been a fan favorite, but after getting away with murder, literally and figuratively, for so long, it's starting to feel a little old. Just because someone pushes your buttons doesn't mean you get to play judge, jury, and executioner. At some point, even Sonny needs to be held accountable for all the chaos he's caused. He's not the law, and deciding who lives and dies, that's not his call to make. Now Curtis, sigh. I can't believe he's sinking to this level. Is he really going to help pitiful Portia cover up the fact that she altered those test results? If he does, he's no better than she is. After all, he divorced Jordan for keeping a secret she had to keep. But now he's going to help this mess of a woman with her own lies? It's beyond hypocritical. He should be dragging her straight to the police, not playing her accomplice. And don't even get me started on Brad. Looks like the guy has learned absolutely nothing from his past mistakes. He's back to his old ways, and it's only a matter of time before that blows up too. Everything's coming to a head, and it's about to get real messy. Sonny. We all knew he wasn't going anywhere. He's practically the heartbeat of General Hospital. Now, about this whole Molly and Dex situation, can someone please explain what the writers are thinking? Dex is all about Jocelyn, so why on earth would he cheat with Molly? It's like they think we're not smart enough to see how ridiculous this is. It makes zero sense, and it's frustrating when they throw logic out the window for drama. And can we talk about the FBI's glorification of Cates? It's exhausting. They're acting like he was some kind of saint, when in reality, he was a mess. He was told in court by an FBI attorney to cool it with his radical behavior months ago. This guy bribed, coerced, kidnapped people, and probably had a few killed along the way. Dirty doesn't even begin to cover it. I love Sonny too, but I can't deny he should face consequences for his actions. However, offing Cates, not exactly the right punishment. I mean, in a twisted way, Sonny did the town a favor by taking out a guy like him. And then there's Anna. Oh boy, letting Sonny incriminate himself, that's a new low. The writers are butchering her character. Back in the day, she wouldn't have done that to Sonny, especially out of respect for Robin. First, they mess with Sam's character so much that they write her off the show. And now they're ruining Anna too. What is happening? As for Christina, she's definitely a loose cannon. I get Molly's frustration, but Alexis made her choices without having all the facts. Molly really needs to step back and learn to live her life again. Sure, it's understandable to feel angry and vengeful, but at some point, you have to take a deep breath. Living just to make Christina pay isn't living, it's just dragging yourself down with negativity. It's high time for Molly to exhale and find her own path forward. So many characters are caught in this web of confusion and chaos, and it's only getting messier. Brad is really something, isn't he? Instead of being the medical professional he's supposed to be, he's just covering his own behind. And now Portia has dragged Curtis into her mess. What a tangled web. And can we clear up the confusion about Sam? People need to pay attention. She was already tested to see if she was a match for Lulu, and surprise, she wasn't. You have to be a perfect match for these things. Otherwise, they won't take the organ. It's not like they're handing out liver transplants like candy. As for the new weekly promo, it looks like things are heating up. Lulu finally gets a match, and Portia confesses to Curtis that she couldn't let go of the Heather Weber case, even after he told her to back off. That's going to blow up in her face for sure. And Martin's about to go off on Anna for keeping that new evidence under wraps. Can't wait to see how that confrontation unfolds. Plus, Sasha's getting a surprise visitor. Who could it be? And spoiler alert, Dante is set to get suspended. My guess is that it's because he told Sonny about the gun Alexis tossed, which is now showing up at PCPD. Remember how Dante tried to warn Sonny at the end of Friday's episode? It's like the dominoes are starting to fall, and I can't wait to see what happens next. Sonny's entire character arc is a whirlwind of hypocrisy and crime, yet somehow it's all just brushed aside. He takes Michael from AJ, claiming to provide a better life than what a rich alcoholic can offer. Right, because hanging AJ on a meat hook and forcing him to sign over his rights at gunpoint is totally acceptable. And shooting AJ in cold blood, just another day for heroic Sonny. What's really frustrating is how everyone, including Carly and Michael, seems to ignore all of this. It's as if they've all agreed to look the other way. Add in 2 decades of crime, and it's almost laughable. Then, to top it all off, he kills an FBI agent and gets everyone to cover for him. Seriously? How does this character keep getting a free pass? Is it just that Maurice Benard, MB, has so much influence over the storyline that the writers feel compelled to keep him untouchable? I mean, it's been rumored that other actors, like Ted King and Stephen Nichols, left due to his controlling nature. It makes you wonder how one character can avoid accountability for so long. Honestly, it feels like some fans are either completely enamored with the dimples, or they've been influenced by the writing to the point where they've lost touch with reality, just like the characters on the show. It's like sticking with someone who's an abusive mob kingpin simply because of some charm, despite all the wrongdoings. Watching a character evade consequences repeatedly isn't entertaining, it's frustrating. It's hard to root for a hero when the reality is so skewed, and it makes for a pretty bleak viewing experience. Where's the satisfaction in seeing someone dodge justice time and time again? It feels less like entertainment and more like an endless cycle of nonsense. Dex&Molly, what a duo! Is it just me, or has anyone else noticed that Dex is always there to comfort Molly? It feels like the writers are testing the waters to see how the audience responds to this potential pairing. What do you think? Personally, I'm ready for Molly and TJ to move on from each other. I always thought Dex and Joss had potential, but the show never really capitalized on that. And let's be honest, there hasn't been much investment in TJ and Molly's relationship either. Young adults on soaps are meant to be messy. They should be having passionate relationships, breaking up, making up, and all the drama in between. Over the past year, Dex has grown on me, and I think Eden Hirsch Age is a charming actor. Plus, I really like Kirsten Storm's KV as Molly, so I'm here for the two of them together. They could create some interesting dynamics. And for the record, I like Joss and TJ as characters and actors too. It might be time to shake things up and move them into other pairings. Let's see some fresh relationships and juicy storylines. Willow, that ridiculous pink mop on her head, so disgraceful. Honestly, I didn't know she was auditioning for most useless body in Port Charles. If she were any more irrelevant, she'd be a background extra in a silent film. And don't even get me started on that absurd relationship with Drew. Watching them together is like watching 2 vacuum cleaners trying to swallow each other. Such a mess. Is he really the best you can do, Willow? The guy who can't even figure out if he's in love with you or just really hungry. Talk about a middle-aged adolescent. Speaking of hunger, let's talk about Sasha. Daryl, you glorified kitchen appliance with feelings but no plug. What's next? A reality cooking show called Sasha's Soggy Secrets. She's at the stove, whipping up mediocre meals while her personality is still stuck in the freezer. Every time she tries to add a little spice, it's like watching a toddler with a salt shaker, just a whole lot of mess and zero flavor. For the love of soap operas, can we either give these characters a plot twist worth watching or send them off to some culinary retreat where they can actually learn to bring something to the table? I'm so over Willow's emotional breakdown of the week. I'm ready for something with a bit more flavor, preferably not another one of Sasha's sloppy suppers. Is it just me, or does it seem like the writers regret making Luke Ethan's father? After Friday's episode, I'm starting to think they want us to forget Ethan even exists as Luke's son. At first, it was just the blatant forgetting to mention him as a potential donor for Lulu. Then Holly finally brings him up to Mac, but still no mention of his connection to Lulu. And yes, while Lucas finally mentioned it on Friday, it all felt pretty awkward. For those of you who visit the daily discussion threads, you might remember how I commented every time Ethan was or wasn't mentioned. On the day it finally came up, I actually missed it because I turned on my TV 30 seconds late. And it was mentioned in the first 20 seconds of the show. Clearly, I wasn't the only one who missed it. Someone joked about sneezing at that moment. For something so many have been discussing on forums and YouTube, the writers handled this significant revelation in the least expected way. Oh, and of course, we didn't hear about Ethan getting tested from Holly or Lucky, much less Laura. It was Lucas of all people. Sure, he's related to Lulu, but why him instead of one of the others? I wasn't watching GH when it was revealed that Ethan was Luke's son instead of Robert's, but I remember reading about the fallout from that storyline. If I'm correct, it wasn't very popular since it complicated the history of Elle and Holly and Robert. I also recall that neither JA nor GF were particularly fond of that twist, which is completely understandable. So could that be why Lucky or Laura haven't mentioned Ethan as a donor for Lulu? Is it possible the writers actually regret making Luke Ethan's father instead of Robert? Given how long it took for them to acknowledge that connection after so many of us had been asking, and the fact that it was Lucas who finally mentioned it, I really think the writers might be regretting the whole Luke or Ethan storyline. If they had a do-over, I'm convinced they'd switch it up and make him Robert's son instead. What do you all think? Am I being too much of a conspiracy theorist? If it were up to me, I'd definitely prefer Ethan to be Robert's son. Not just because I was a fan of Elle from the 90s, but because the show could really use more Scorpios. I've always wanted to see a Spencer or Scorpio couple, and I think this whole Lulu donor storyline could go in an exciting direction with that connection. What do you think? Do the writers wish they could zap our memories of Ethan like in Men in Black? Would you be okay with them correcting their mistake and revealing Ethan as Robert's son instead? Any favorite scenes featuring Cyrus Renault? Cyrus is played by the talented Jeff Kober, who many of us remember from various iconic roles. Personally, I'll always associate him with Bear from the 7th episode of The X-Files, Ice. That episode is a classic, solidifying Scully and Mulder as a lifelong OTP for so many of us. I digress though. I was delighted to discover that my husband had watched The X-Files, but didn't realize it until we came across Jeff Kober as the inclusively open-minded landlord Remy in New Girl. While there are plenty of Cyrus clips on YouTube, I'm curious if any fellow X-Files fans have standout Cyrus scenes they'd recommend. I'd love to set something up for our next date night. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.